Now, we understand you as a business person need to know that paying taxes should be part of your business because at the end of the day, you should be rendering something to the taxman. But however, there are some challenges that we've been able to identify in the long run is that very few businesses have the desire of keeping records. And especially the important records, it becomes even worse during the time of return filing, that some businesses give out wrong information about their businesses. So with Mr. Kayondo, would wish to understand why is it important to keep these records? Because the business people clearly don't mind. Some of them don't really mind about keeping important records.
Joram and the viewers out there, you realize that of late everything moves with records. Sure. Yes, and if you went to court, they'll ask for affidavits. They'll ask for evidence. You've seen council. Is he supposed to be called the council anyway?
Yeah, council.
Going out with a pickup full of records, evidence. Okay, so you realize that it is very important to keep records for business. Mm-hmm. Why? One, we have what we call deductible expenses and allowable tax credits. Mm-hmm. However, it is not easy if you are not keeping records that you'll be able to understand the different incomes that you've sourced from the different sources. Okay. And some of these incomes perhaps would exempt or incomes that you've not sourced from your business. Mm-hmm. And therefore could be allowed to deduct them before we derive chargeable income. But when you don't have these records, it will be very hard. There is this verse that normally says that it will be too hard for who to enter the kingdom of God than a camel. You remember that verse?
Yeah, the one I hear is of lucky are those who are in spirit, for they will inherit the kingdom of God.
Definitely. So you realize that if you don't have those records, it will be too hard for you to convince me, the taxman, that these incomes were sourced from exempt incomes or they are not business incomes, so that we can reduce your taxable chargeable income. But also, there are different tax credits. If you have not been keeping records, yet for income tax purposes, tax credits are very important because they will reduce the tax payable. So if you don't have records to that effect, then it will be bad news on your side. And then you realize that it is easy to, it is always good to distinguish incomes that is earned from the different sources, like I am. And this comes with the ability to have records. Okay. Assessing business performance, you should be able to have a comparison. How did I perform last year around this period, and how am I performing as a business person? To enable you plan and forecast, it's very important for business. But also, if you need good planning and financing, I've always said, and I repeat that the banks out there deal with the records. You must be a potential partner in business. You want to stay alone. You can't be a company that is in a vicious cycle of losses year in and year out, and you want to source a loan from, say, Stanbic or Stanchart. I mean, the business is not working. You must be a profitable working partner because the banks are in business. Okay. They give you their money, the money must come back with interest. Mm-hmm. And so if you are in losses, it means that the moment they inject their money into your business, it's going to be eaten by the losses, by the vicious cycle of losses. And before you know it, even the capital got from the bank will be finished. But if you're keeping records, they will use these records to assess whether you are a potential and viable business partner or not. But also, it's for good health of the business. When I talk about good health of the business, I'm talking about with the tax body. Because if you're not in good books with the URA, it will not be of any chance helping you in growing your business. Because there are different platforms and laws that require that URA must certify that you are a good tax-paying entity, you're cleared for taxes, you've paid all your taxes as a taxpayer, and then you'll be required, that's when you will source these businesses. For example, if you're to deal with government entities, the law of procurement of government, procurement and disposal of assets requires that amongst the requirements that someone should have fulfilled when bidding for businesses for government, that you must be tax compliant, the tax body. And therefore, if you're in good terms and good health with URA, you'll be provided with a tax clearance to go out there and compete for business. And you know very well that government is the biggest spender. If you're to compete for these tenders that are for government, but also for non-government organizations, most of the institutions require that they should be dealing with someone who is tax compliant.
All right.
Yeah.
And then also when you look at the other issue regarding return filing, I wish to understand also what are the challenges that taxpayers have been reporting to the taxman regarding the issues they are facing while filing these returns. I do know it cannot be so smooth to everybody.
Definitely, yes. You know, we went electronic. Even in the manual environment, there were challenges. But now we went electronic to simplify the way they file. But this requires constant memorization of passwords. And you and I are humans. So the viewers and our clients. So they constantly forget passwords. And the passwords are the gateway to log into their platforms to file returns. But this can be solved by getting at URA in the nearest office and request for if at all you can no longer access the email, for a change of the email, or you can even reset the password at the comfort of your bed as long as you have access to the email that you used when you are applying for the tax identification number. But also, Joram and the viewers, you realize that there is a challenge of clients or taxpayers having insufficient records. Insufficient. Someone wants to tell us that he expensed so much. Someone wants to tell us that he procured so much, but he procured from what I may call as a non-existent entity, because how do you procure, say, products and services from a service provider, which is way above 5 million, for example, and this person is not registered for taxes? Doesn't add up.
Yeah.
You will want to, say, claim input tax credit if you're a registered taxpayer, but then you did not take the responsibility to confirm and ask for the invoices that are fiscalized, that have gone through our electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution, which is very key. Okay? So you realize that if you don't have records, the deductible expenses may end up coming back, lumped back, because you don't have evidence to that effect. It's a very big challenge, and I urge our clients out there to try as much as possible to improve in their record keeping. Joram and the viewers out there, remember that if you file a return and if URA is mandated or is required, or the clients are required to keep business records that are relating to a particular year in question or a financial year in question for a maximum of 5 years. Say if we are dealing with a financial year that is ended 30th June 2022. They are supposed to keep all the relevant business records for audit purposes, just in case the tax body wants to, for a period of 5 years.
Okay.
And the whole thing, the whole mix comes back to business, keeping of business records. Very key.
Okay.
Very key.
And then what are some of the key risks and errors that the tax person or a person returning or doing this file returning should avoid as you file the income tax, for example?
The income tax, we have what we call a template. And this template has its do's and don'ts. You don't cut and paste figures. You don't use special characters. You don't double space. The moment you use those ones, then the return will always return errors at the point of uploading. It will always tell you that, hey, something is not right. You may want to file for pay as you earn. You don't include the teams of the employees.
Okay.
You're filing for value added tax. You're not inputting fiscalized invoices. Automatically, you will have errors with us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then if you're to look at the other situation, the year is coming to an end where there are available service channels for the people who are actually filing their returns. For anyone who wants to get any idea about taxes, besides this particular discussion we have here, maybe there are some people who want more of an extensive. How can they access Uganda Revenue Authority offices? Where are they? And basically, what other channels can they get to you?
We are aiding our clients. We are trying as much as possible to handhold them at their comfort. So just in case they have challenges, we have a toll-free line where they can reach at URA, and the number is 0800 117 000, and the other is 0800 217 000. They can reach us and they will not be charged any cost for the discussion and the query they will be giving to us. And then definitely, like I said, we are in a modern era where everybody is using WhatsApp. They can also reach at URA at WhatsApp. And in this event, they will choose the language to use. We have a fully flagged client support team that is dedicated to serving them with passion and purpose. Okay. So they can reach us at 0772 14 00 00. But we also at Twitter, they can find us, our Twitter handle at URA, and type a complaint, type a query, and then we shall look at it and respond. We are at Facebook at URA. We also have a YouTube channel. And what is very special about our YouTube channel is that all the different instructional videos, even for filing returns, the different returns are uploaded there. So just in case someone is challenged and needs to go through step by step, there are instructional videos by our experts, and then you go step by step and file your return. Leaving that aside, Joram and the viewers, we have offices. We are trying as much as possible. You know, amongst the canons of taxation, there is simplicity that the tax should be in the face of the person paying, but also in the face of the administrator. It should be made so simple, such that it doesn't become really a big burden for a client to look for the tax body, how to do it, and how to pay. So we have positioned ourselves countrywide. I will start with the Central Business District here in Kampala. We have a fully flagged office at Boulevard. Boulevard is just opposite Post Office, Uganda. We have a team of about 300 people, 300 officers ready to serve our dear clients in the Central Business District. But then leaving that aside, we know that Kampala has a very big number. We have the head office in Nakawa. We are there to serve you, definitely with a smile, despite the fact that we are trying to sell a product that is not on the market.
And
which is tax.
Yes.
But we are trying to do as much as possible, be very professional, to make our clients realize that making a tax is just an obligation they have to do for the existence of their government and services they receive, to make sure that they pay tax when they like, but also knowing that tax does some work for them. From URA Nakawa, as you traverse the eastern route, you will find us in Chaliwajara, which is a few kilometers off Kireka. We have an office. You will find us in Mukono. We have a service center. About 60 kilometers from Mukono, you will find us in Jinja. And then Iganga, we are there. From Iganga, we have an office in Tororo, in the eastern axis, and Busia.
Yeah, the one.
And then we have the one-stop border posts
at the Malaba.
Yes, that are working 24/7 to facilitate international trade. And then we have Mbale, Soroti. We've gone up to Moroto. We have an office in Moroto to aid tax collection from our brothers out there. Simplicity, canons of taxation. It should be simple. Someone should not really suffer. That's why we are getting nearer to them. When you get to the northern axis, you find us in Kitigumu, you'll find us Lira and Guru. When you get to West Nile, you'll find us at Nebi, Arua, Koboko, and Moyo. When you get the midwestern of Uganda, and of course the southern axis and western axis, you'll find us at Porpoto Kasese, Ibanda, Bushenyi, Lukunjiri, Kabari. We are there. But also in Mitiana and Mubende, we've positioned. So we are trying to make our services to be near, to ensure that the clients don't move hundreds of miles just in case they require to get at URA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as we're summing up still here with the discussion today, what else should the taxpayers know about what is coming up by the Uganda Revenue Authority? Definitely,
I would remind our taxpayers that effective yesterday, effective the 21st,
okay,
we had a public notice, which is just here, where URA is reminding all taxpayers with accounting date 31st December to file and settle any outstanding liability by Friday 30th December 2022 to avoid penalties and interests associated to non-compliance. That is as per the public notice. And URA also informs its clients that all URA service centers and contact centers, like we've already said, will remain open to provide extra support as follows. Service centers countrywide, all the offices I've talked about are service centers, will remain open on Friday, 30th December 2022, and on Saturday, December 31st, from 8 to 9 p.m. We are extending our working hours so that we work and extend service to whoever has a burden beyond the official timelines. And then the URA contact center, where we have our WhatsApp and our toll-free lines, and they're also responsible for the email that is services@ura.go.ug. All the correspondences will be attended to on Friday 30th, and also on Saturday 31st December from 8 a.m. to midnight. They should know this. And then, like I have already said, there are obligations that are being again highlighted. Final income tax for fiscal year 2021-2022 is due on 31st December. And then the provisional will also be due on the 31st of December for fiscal year 2022-2023. But also we are reminding our taxpayers out there that they should note that the rental tax is registered and paid separately, like we already said. At URA, we aspire to develop Uganda together with the clients.
All right. Yeah. And that is Mwami, Mr., or I would call him Mr. Twaha Kayondo Mlangira from the Uganda Revenue Authority Domestic Taxes Department. From the Uganda Revenue Authority's Thursdays here, we are wishing you a happy new year. And of course, we do hope that amongst the key discussions we've had here been tremendously a game changer for your business. But before we say goodbye to the viewers at this hour, I want to ask also, how has it been this week? The URA traffic at the offices. Have people been storming the offices? Or very few?
The traffic before the Christmas period was high, but because you realize that there is a culture of people storming the villages.
Very true. During the
24th,
yes.
So 27, we really didn't have much traffic. And the 26th, 22, yesterday, 20, and yesterday. So we anticipate
more traffic
coming in today.
Okay.
And then the days upwards to 31st.
If I was a business person now, I would be thinking of the rightful days now to tackle the URA offices.
They should do it here and now, because the infrastructures we are using are machines.
Yeah.
The bandwidth of the internet and the systems can be overwhelmed
with too much traffic.
Yeah, you don't blame URA and Uganda that why don't you have the robust infrastructure? I have always asked if it happened to the Americans during the most valued presidential elections of Al Gore and J.W. Bush, and the internet and the systems were abandoned and they had to go back to manual, then why not in Uganda? So I'm not saying it should happen, but I'm trying to tell our clients to file returns as early as possible to avoid operating and the late headaches that will be associated at wanting to do all their filing tax obligations at the 11th hour. We want to just wish them a happy new year when they are compliant and have filed returns without having, because it will not be a happy new year when you have spent the rest of the 31st navigating the web portal for URA and you're failing. Definitely it can't be a happy new year for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And many thanks for joining us today. We shall be having him next week, still Thursday, that will be in 2023. And stick around to Smart Beats Business. We shall be right back after the break. But though the markets on the Zabu platform are open, so you can dial *292#, follow the prompts, kickstart off your investment journey with Zabu. Zabu says, my money, my future. Zabu is a platform by Altex East Africa, which tells you to do something new today. Their markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:50 p.m. East African Standard Time. Please do note that these markets are closed during weekends and during the public holidays. So the other days you'll be able to invest in bonds and securities and make your investments count as early as possible. There are quite a number of enormous chances for you to invest in Uganda's capital market space, and so Zabu is providing that platform for you. Zabu, my money, my future. Altex East Africa, do something new. After the break, I'll be back with Barija Andrew with the SMB on ground. Good morning.